Alright guys, and welcome back. I am Sir Squeebles here with RvB's TechBlue to bring you Doomsday Devices versus Will Dance for PLEX. On the Will Dance for PLEX team, they fielded, big surprise, 2 Myrmidons, 2 Navitas, and a Malediction.
I do like that setup though.
Oh, I do too.
So on the other side, Faction Navy issue ×2, Blackbird, something we've seen only once before, Kestrel Talwar.
So I think this sort of gets into the psychology that can be a huge ordeal in the bigger matches, or in the bigger tournaments rather, that if you continue to fly the same setups over and over, you're probably going to get countered. I wonder if that Blackbird is full go into jams to turn off the newts that are coming off of these Myrmidons.
Yeah, very possible. I'm gonna keep a good eye on that Blackbird, see what he does. They're sending geckos after what looks to be the Blackbird. So yeah, they do recognize that Blackbird is potentially a problem.
I don't think they're actually going for the Blackbird. To me, it looks like they're killing a gecko. Oh no, that's in my fleet. Okay, so Will Dance for PLEX is having their geckos targeted. I don't have the targeting space available for this particular gecko, but it does have a flight of light drones on it. It has substantial EHP, but it will eventually die, which is going to be huge because these Myrmidons probably don't have 3 geckos on board. In fact, they can't have 3 geckos if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there is a gecko being attacked by a flight of 5 Imperial Navy acolytes. Is that true? Yeah, there's acolytes shooting a gecko.
So just kidding, the Myrmidon has a 200 M3 drone base, so they can actually carry a total of 4 geckos, but I imagine they probably have maybe 3 geckos and some light flights. There have been a couple geckos to go down, and now Doomsday Devices is working on a 4th gecko. This looks really bad because the Myrmidons are losing essentially all of their damage right now.
Yeah, meanwhile the double Navitas is, well, under a little bit of contest, but to no immediate problem really.
So a Myrmidon has scrammed a Talwar, and he is now taking shield damage. If you're with Will Dance for PLEX, you really need to consider what's going to happen if you lose all these geckos. I mean, I know they want to apply damage, but if this Blackbird could even be jamming the geckos, and they need to keep an eye on their damage notifications as well. But this looks really grim if you're on the Will Dance for PLEX side, because once you run out of damage, you completely run out of the ability to win the match.
What's really strange is, take a look at where these Navitas are in relation to the rest of the team.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand that. I mean, they might be trying to get away from like this Kestrel, but I don't know why. They've positioned themselves on the opposite side of their own team to the beacon. They are still in rep range pretty comfortably. It looks like they've set up an orbit on Sheki and the Myrmidon. But I think at this point, Doomsday, despite being 1 ship down, is really losing the longer fight, or is winning the longer fight by having taken out these heavy drones of the Will Dance for PLEX team.
You know, and still, Myrmidon has launched 2 more geckos. Those geckos are now happily traveling the arena, trying to catch up to Keto in the Faction Navy issue.
And they have caught up. Hopefully Keto takes some damage pretty soon. I wonder if Will Dance for PLEX has figured out where this Blackbird's jams are. If they're on the Myrmidons, that will be pretty obvious to them, but if they're jamming the geckos and they're not paying attention to their damage notifications, that could be really bad news. And Keto is not taking a whole lot of damage, so...
3rd gecko launch from the Myrmidons. Taking a look at what's actually chasing Keto right now. Oh, he's out of my lock range, so... Oh god, Keto is out of the arena by a long shot. Van Hellen's out of the arena by a long shot.
I'm actually on the beacon, yes, so there's a... Both VNIs for the Doomsday Devices teams are pretty substantially out. They're being called to get back into the arena. They are burning back in fairly quickly, but they definitely mitigated some damage by burning out that far against the rules. So shame on you, Doomsday Devices, shame.
Yeah, we have no CCP Veritas Insta Explodify powers here, so we'll just have to count on them reading local and guys get in, get back in, get back in. They have done so with MQD on, so not being tardy about it.
Yeah, they were only out for a little bit as far as I was aware, but Shecky is trying to be a real team player here. He boundary violated as well, just by 1 kilometer, just as an act of solidarity, and he's now back in the arena as well. Meanwhile, not a whole lot of damage going down on either team, although Cheech Duff in the Navitas is in probably 2/3 armor right now. Don't think he has anything to be worried about, but Vash Aderon in the Blackbird, see you, Vash.
Yeah, you should not be long for the results. We have to remember these Myrmidons, if they are using the same fit as we saw the last time they were around, also have the active tank. The Navitas are still alive. Even the Malediction is still alive, and they've cleared the Blackbird, which has a little bit of damage and a lot of annoying stuff in the mid slots, you would assume. And what was it? Was it a Talwar? Yeah, it was a Talwar.
Yeah, I think at this point it's kind of a war of attrition. The Myrmidon team of Will Dance for PLEX still clearly has some drone fights, although they're becoming much more mixed in suboptimal drones that they've put out, but they do have drones, and that's very important. And without any logistics on the Doomsday Devices team, it's just going to be a matter of time until they grind these VNIs down. As you said, these Myrmidons do have the active tank. We talked about that earlier, probably a plate and an ancillary repper, and the hull gets a rep amount bonus, so those are going to be very, very hard to chew through with only 1 Vexor Navy issue, and it looks like they're about to only have 1 Vexor Navy issue left.
Yeah, and what's also strange is that the Vexor Navy issue drone loader that they've currently launched is really a mixed bag. There's like a lot of acolytes. I've seen 1 Hammerhead 2. There's no heavy drones. There's no geckos even. And Keto is, well, he's neutered to hell by 2 Myrmidons. He has no structure left, so I think the Myrmidons take another fight right here.
Yeah, I mean, it was really well done. And to your point about the drone payloads, I have a feeling they're using, let's call them unconventional drone setups, mainly to kill the enemy drones. So I imagine those lights were out specifically because they apply a little bit better to a moving gecko, and they just never adjusted.
Well, maybe they were banking on shield setup on the other side. Like
that's possible.
We've seen even passive Vexor Navy issue just shield buffer, and we've seen the XL-ASB variant just now. So.
I'm kind of confused though from the Doomsday Devices team. It seems like they kind of expected this Myrmidon comp, which makes sense given that, as you said, they flew it yesterday apparently, and they've flown it now at least twice this morning, or this evening if you're European. I kind of wonder why they didn't bring something that maybe was a little more viable. There was nothing wrong necessarily with their setup, but I don't think the Blackbird was particularly effective in this setup. And they clearly had a plan to kill off those geckos, and they did really well on that. You've got to applaud them on killing off those geckos and mitigating damage, but it seems like they knew what to expect, and they just didn't take full advantage of the fact that Will Dance for PLEX keeps flying this exact same setup.
Yeah. Van Halen, meanwhile, is tackled by the Malediction, drones on him. Well, not the optimal loadout, because, well, they did kill a couple of geckos and whatnot, but he's still going down. What do you... Like the Blackbird, it would work out. The Blackbird jams the Navitas, takes them out of the equation, so your damage can go down on the Myrmidons, stress their active tank, outlast their AR, and kill their DPS. That should have been the plan beforehand, right?
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, even if the Blackbird can only jam 1 Navitas, they can kill the other Navitas and remove that from the equation. So I think that they put some thought into countering this team. I think they knew the Myrmidons were coming out, and there was some divide between what they wanted to do and what they actually accomplished with that setup. So I'd be curious to know what the plan was and what went wrong. But another great match. Well done to both teams. Congratulations to Will Dance for PLEX. They're going to keep on going. Doomsday Devices, however, is out, as this was a losers bracket round. So we're going to take it back to the studio and set up for the next match.